Hi Virgo, welcome to your June 2018 reading. My name is Donatella and I will be doing your forecast this month. This month your reading will be divided into two portions, and as always I have written something in the beginning about your astrology or what is happening in astrology, and the next portion is your tarot reading. If you find this reading resonating with you and you feel the need to contact me or ask for a private personal reading, you can reach me at donatellaempressofswords@gmail.com. And also, if you'd like to like, share, and subscribe, that is really wonderful, because as we come along to the next months, as we progress, as time goes on, it'll be really nice to follow up with what is happening in the month, in the stars, and as far as what is going on with tarot. And as I'm doing this video right now, you know, we're doing a June video, but this video is actually done on June 12th. And let me tell you, this reading is actually done purposely at a specific time, so that way I can match up your energy with mine. So that way I can give you the direct message, the exact time when you directly need it. So when we left the season of Taurus, okay, we entered the season of Gemini from May 21st to June 21st. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of communication. Gemini is the sign of duality. We can find duality in ourselves and others, as it causes us to want to increase our communication. Now, one thing I must tell you, Virgo, is no matter how many hundreds of times I tried to light your candle today, for some reason it doesn't want to light unless it's in a very secure position. And I kind of feel like that's how your heart's been feeling lately. I got the sense of they don't want to light their candle until it is secure and put in a proper place where they know it's going to ignite flame very high. And you're not allowing your heart to even have little bits of flame until you are sure that it's put in a secure position. Because I'm telling you, I kept lighting and lighting and lighting, and that's the sense that I get from you guys, and that's the feeling that I get. Unless it's absolutely secure, I don't want to have anything to do with it, whether it's money, finances, people, friends, relationships, whoever they are, they better be secure people, because I don't even want to deal with them. It's pretty much how I feel like Virgo's feeling right now. But also during this time, you know, it's June, so remember, during this time, you're going to feel the need to be more social, more talkative, and whimsical. And remember, you could also feel indecisive and even nosy. This is a time when you feel the need to strengthen your communication with active listening. This is where you practice your mirroring skills. After a person is done talking, it's really important that you play back what they have said, especially if it's an important matter. Because during this time, there's a lot of flip-flop. People are like really opening their minds. And this was done on purpose so that way people could shift in the direction that they wanted to be at by October, November time. So if you're finding a lot of rough times during this time, it's normal, because now it's during the time of Gemini season. And this is when you're going to see a lot of duality. But if you've been dealing with someone that's been very, very difficult, it's very hard to compromise. There's a 3-step problem solver that I have worked with, and it's always worked for me. And it's the first step is to empathize, the second step is to reassure, and the third step is to resolve. So after the person is done speaking, it's best to let them finish. When the person is done complaining, repeat back what you've heard and empathize. If you see a frustration, take yourself to a point where you can fully immerse yourself in another's shoes with no judgment. Saying things like, "Oh, I do understand that you went through a lot of pain. Wow, you do so much." Just basically agreeing to the frustration. And not saying that what they're saying is right, but just understanding, hey, you're frustrated, I get it. Repeating it back. Oh yeah, you do work a lot. Oh yeah, because my favorite one is, I know, right? Like, as soon as I'm complaining and someone says, I know, right? That's my absolute favorite. Because it's just confirmation that someone cares about how you feel. Feelings are just sensors. They're like light sensors in your car saying, hey, I need an oil change. You're just confirming that that it needs repair. You can't get mad at it every time you need an oil change, do you? Okay, so just acknowledge nothing is personal, and even your body needs to go to the doctor sometimes. Even your body needs to be nurtured, and so as your family, and so as your friends and your loved ones. But number 2 is reassuring, and this one's very important. Reassure the person that you care for, that you are actually in this together. Actually verbally even telling them that we are in this together, if that is something that you wish from them. Because mirroring plays a big part. Reassuring a person means that you have the understanding of how another person's issues are. When you realize the more alliance you have, the more others work the same for you. When you start realizing that you can start affecting your own happiness from cause and effect, you will start seeing compromises for the best. Are you being compassionate enough to reassure someone? And number 3, the final step, is to resolve. By showing others that you are sensitive and strong enough to make magic happen, the final step automatically comes into play with much less effort than before. Processing the first 2 steps, empathizing and reassuring, allows the third final step to take its own form naturally. And this all comes from your own mind, your own heart, your own spirit, your joy, and positively mapping yourself into the state that you want to be in. When there's a lack of positive communication, meaning that there's no listening, no compromises, no security, there's judgment, blame, negativity, you find yourself naturally wanting and needing loopholes. And as a result, you feel even weaker. As a human being, when your needs are not met, even just by a natural way of communication, it can make a person feel like they need to scavenger just to satisfy their own hunger. In that sense, we become animals and we go into starvation. Starvation can be a form of lack of space, lack of air. Sometimes a person needs some space. Food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, meaning fluctuations and not feeling balance, where it could cause death even. Excretion, whether it's your feelings that you need to purge or you need to excrete something that you've always wanted to get rid of. But most people just need to talk to others to find out how to problem solve. And a lot of that time, people are not intuitive. They are not aware of what direction you want. You need to know that setting your GPS will have to always be set on and also at a higher frequency rate. Because one false move doesn't just affect you, it affects your family, your children, your stability, your finance, and other things that are important to you. There can be negative influence from many different facets of your life, and sometimes it's not just the people, but it's also the music, the environment, and the feelings of lack. Satisfying the hunger from loopholes can mean talking to others about internal issues, the parties that are outside of the relationship that can cause conflict, family, friends, etc. Going to others for solution rather than the person that you have issues with. A lot of that can mean sometimes the answer is just compromise. Turning your feelings off with drugs and alcohol, using forms of numbing your feelings will block your intuitive nudges what your body has been trying to show you. There's a reason why your stomach feels funny if you don't feel good about something. There are sensors, and the more we block ourselves, it becomes more like a callus to heal a broken heart. So numbing yourself could be shopping, it could be gambling, as we find distractions that cause ourselves to get into debt, adding more than just relationship issues. Now you're adding debt into the mix. So Virgo, understand that direct distractions have their own time and place. That this is just a temporary time of suspension. The question is, how long do you want to sit in it? Because also in June, it's also the most entertaining time of 2018. Most weddings are in the month of June. A lot of celebrations and gatherings are in the month starting this time. Gemini in the deck of tarot is actually the Lovers and the Soulmate card. It's accepting the duality of two souls, both different but divinely paired. Like the salt and the pepper shaker, both perfectly set onto the dinner table. Always, however, they are completely different, which is why they are so awesomely paired. Now remember, there is a full moon on June 28th. And it's at 6 degrees in Capricorn. Also during this time, Saturn is in retrograde. And it's been in retrograde from April 17th till September 6th. So if you guys have been having any marital issues, if you had any financial issues from around, especially April, okay? So if during the solar eclipse last September, you started seeing things like, going haywire, like crazy things just shifting. Whether it was good, positive, or negative. In April, something crazy completely happened, and especially something in May. And you will see significant changes from this timeline developing in October, November. Like they're completely manifesting around that time if you've done the work in April. From April until September 6th, from April 17th till September 6th was the time for you to reconstruct your life back up to the position that you want. So if you don't use this time frame and you're getting distracted, then by the time harvest season comes, it's kind of too late. You got to recycle back again. This time it's going to be much more energetically allowing you to create the goals that you want to create. And that all starts with the mindset that you have right now with what is happening. And the Gemini season teaches us to accept the good and the bad. And asks you to see the Pandora box in front of you, realize what are you willing to sacrifice for. And unless you know the truth, and knowing the truth meaning allowing others to be vulnerable, to know that there can always be a solution if that's a position that you want for yourself. And when you sacrifice for someone, is it a true mirror that will sacrifice for you? You must understand, to have someone like that, you must also be open in a very vulnerable way, an accepted, nurtured way, through the healing of communication with thorough compassion, understanding, empathy, and resolution. Now understand that if you're in the position of savior, you will meet a partner, you will mirror a partner that will be just that way, however, in a different direction. And remember how I said one is salt and the other one is pepper? Accepting the beauty and difference, understanding what your intentions are. If you are in need, you will find others more that way. The reason for you meeting several different types of people is for you to understand the lessons in life, to heal, to learn unconditional love, and to learn what cycles are causing changes. Once you secure your energy in a much more positive way, not only will you project what is positive for yourself, but you will start seeing communities and the universe just changing around you. And it all starts with ourselves. So as you go through this period, you will see instability, you will see fluctuations in people. But what I want to tell you is that that's what's stable about it, is knowing this, that you'll get, during this time, you'll get to see the Pandora box. You'll open everything up. You'll decide what is acceptable, what's not acceptable. And you can give yourself a deadline, like October time, because that's usually around the time when things are supposed to really come together. This is the time that you can grow, you can learn, you can progress, you can make some changes, you can make some affiliations, you can make some friends, and you can determine yourself in a position where you want to be and not be stuck in again. And you know, your life is different than how it was previously, because the energies are making it much harder, and it seems like no matter how much a Virgo tries right now, you feel like you're up against a battle, you know. So I understand that, and you need to also understand that you're very also important too. But your communication will help a lot. Your communication through this time will really, really help a lot. But coming from a compassionate side, not from, you know, let's make it perfect. Not from that. Accepting that it's at 20% and say, hey, you know what? I noticed that it was at 20% actually. Let's talk about this, because my goal is I want it at 100. Can we push for that? You know, I would love to have a 100% relationship with you, and I understand that this is how you feel. What can we do to make this at 100%? What can we compromise? This is the time to like open up that box and see if you want to give it a shot. If you want to give it the chance that it deserves. So, I'm going to think about you right now. I'm shuffling while I'm doing the video, and usually I'm done. I'm prepared. I'm done. But I feel like I want to spend time with you while I pull your energy, Virgo, because I feel like it's in, when it was out, and it was focused, and it was not focused at some point. And it's all because of the feeling of non-security. So I'm going to do one last final shuffle, and then I'm going to read you your month's cards. Okay. There's something inside of you where you feel like something has just succeeded. Something has came true. Something that you've been working hard, pushing towards, has finally manifested in its way. However, there's something that's crossing it. And the thing that's crossing it is the feeling of strength. You don't know if you have the strength for this journey, because you had succeeded at one point for this to get what you want. But now you're really questioning, do I really absolutely have the strength for what is needed of me? Because I know that something is going to be happening soon. There's going to be a lot of changes happening, and I need to know, like, am I going, this success that I feel right now, is it going to be a stable success? Is it going to manifest as something? But really right now, it's like what's hindering you is you having your own strength to push through. What's weighing heavily on your mind is there was a union that you had, whether there's a person in your life, whether they were your twin flame or your soulmate or something, a lover, a karmic partner. I feel like it's a soulmate. Either you or them had to go through a separation process, if that makes any sense for you. And that is on your frontal mind. And that gives you fear. And that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, am I going to have the strength for this? Am I going to have the strength to carry on this pain that this person's feeling? Or I have just lost this union of mine, and now I have to have the strength to feel a success about it. you know, whichever way you're directing your life at now. But now it's like, okay, I have to feel successful because there's some changes that have been made in my life, and I need to find the strength for it. In the distant past, I saw that you were walking away from something that was like emotionally really burdening you. And you walked away from that so that way you can have more success and a financial abundance and a much happier, stable life. And I feel like in the near future you want to also get away from something, but it's like it's not happening right away. Like either you want to move or you want someone to move away from you, or there's somewhere where you need to get to in the near future, and I feel like it's kind of like not in a position of moving right now. And I feel like you're waiting on, it could be possibly because you're waiting on someone else to move with you on this plan or move away from you so that way you can make your next step decision. And the reason for this is because I feel like you're really holding on to money. You're really holding on to whatever your financial situation is. Either you're holding on to the person because they're providing some kind of financial help for you right now, or you know there's a decline in finances, but you're really thinking about being careful with whatever it is that has to do with the money. But I just feel like there could be issues with debt even, or just feeling of like I need to hold on to something because there is some kind of financial benefit from this person or the people that I'm involved with. Like there's some things that keep you around so that way you could be okay financially, because I know that like with one single hand, if it doesn't carry everything is just going to fall apart. So it's just that feeling like I need to hold on to everything for the moment that I have right now, so it's not gone, not away from me. And then after that, something is going to happen probably by the end of June, or maybe like, you know, nearing towards it. I think this might have to do with the full moon. There may be some people that are disagreeing with what your next plan is, or if there's a passion that you want, there's a decision or a direction that you want to go through, and you might not have all the alliances that you need at the moment to make this decision. But I see you like really working hard towards it to make sure that this manifests in a way that you really are wishing it for it to manifest. But as you're doing this, you're seeing it's really hard when it comes to having abundance in your life. It's, you know, it makes it more difficult. It makes it more frustrating. There is a either you're dealing with a Libra or you're dealing with a Taurus, but it could have someone to do with the Venus in their chart, because it's the Empress that I have reversed. And what this is telling me is that either you feel a lack of abundance in your situation right now where you are at, or there's a person that is in your vicinity as far as a lover who gives you this kind of feeling where they're not stable to provide financially or like help you feel like you could be been set in a secure position. And the final card that I have for this month is you finally getting to speak up about what it is that you need to say. And I don't think of it as like, it's not in a king position, it's at a Page of Swords. Page of Swords can mean like you're going to write an email, you're going to write a text message, or you're going to say something to someone and it's going to be like you want to cut them off from either the finances, because I have Page of Pentacles also next to it reversed. It could be either a threat that someone's going to cut you off or you're going to cut them off when it comes to this. But what is happening is that there will be a communication. Let me get some extra cards to see. Excuse me one second. I want to get some clarifiers to actually see what's going on. Okay, so there's an outside person either in your relationship or in your home, or there's a third party, okay? It could be like an annoying person that is in between you making your changes. There could be someone that is always like, no, don't do this, or like they're always stopping you from, making you feel like you can accomplish anything, like even if it's just the craziest thing, but you want to do it because it makes your heart feel good. You're gonna finally drop that idea of that person having any power over influence over you. And it's going to create something where I get the wish card, but it's in reverse, so it's slow. So, okay, so this is what I'm getting, okay? The first card was the Six of Wands. The second one was Strength. So it's you feeling like you just accomplished something. You're feeling successful. Things are going smooth, but you're worried about this loss. Like either the partner that you're with now, either they got a divorce or you just got a divorce to be with someone else, or something had happened to where the relationship was lost. Or there's some kind of thing where you guys are not getting along. Or let's say you have a partner, you guys are very close, but there's something that's disconnecting you guys. At the end of this card, and it's like you want to go, you want to do something, you want to make some changes, you're holding on super tight, you're fighting off whoever you need to fight off. But then at the end, you feel like there is no abundance. So finally, you want to say something, you want to talk about it, you want to make an email, you want to talk about, hey, either you're going to talk to someone about making some financial connections and moving things in a different process for you at the very end of this month. It's Page of Pentacles reversed. It's telling someone exactly what is going on at the situation that they're at, so that way they can realistically see where their life is heading. Once this communication happens, the last final card that I had was the Star. And when it popped out, it flew out, and it's going sideways. So either that's telling me some of you are going to delay this with negative thoughts and thinking that this is not possible, because if I just communicate, oh, how would that make things come true? Some of you are saying, you know what, I'm ready to have this communication, let me do it right now. What I'm saying is that the time will come, and it will be at the end of the month when you feel superb about it. Like I said, this reading was done very late, and it's done purposely. It's done June 12th. It's a June reading, but it's done June 12th. And if I make things happen sooner than they're supposed to happen, then you're not going to get the right message at the right time. You need to go through certain situations, because if you already watched this video, it's too late for you to replay it. Or you might have forgot it or told yourself that you already watched it. You don't need to rewatch it again. So it's up to me to decide when to delay your videos, to make sure that you ensure to have it on time. So that way when decisions are needing to be made, you can actually see when this decision is coming up front. And the time for you to communicate is not right now. It's as we enter into Cancer season. So be very aware that a conversation is going to have to happen, but you need to be prepared for that situation. It's going to have to do with work or your relationship, but at the end of it, it has to do with something to do with money, but it's a wish coming true. It could also mean like you were trying to work on a raise, and maybe you wanted to go on vacation with your spouse, or you were trying to do something where you and your partner could do something, but the finances are affecting it. So there needs to be a conversation that you will have at the end of this month, and it's going to be talking about, hey, well, what if we did this instead of this, because this is hurting us, so why don't we do this instead? Or you'll have that conversation with your boss. Whatever that is, there's going to be a conversation either through email or text. It's saying like a lower form of communication. It's a passionate push drive. So it's at page level. It's not very forceful. But it's the idea of saying, hey, I want to communicate myself now. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to talk about what I want. I'm ready to see where everything is happening. And the more you talk, the more you're going to feel like you can actually get through to something. You can get through to someone. But the thing is that sometimes you're going to hear what you don't want to hear. And if you accept what is to come at a future date, you won't have any surprises later on. You can also prepare for it. So that's what I'm saying. The readings have to happen at the time that the energy allows me to. And when it's too volatile, I cannot have it done too early. And I cannot make it too early, and I cannot make it too late. It's perfect for the perfect time. And Virgo, today was your perfect time, perfect day to do this reading. And I know you're going to see it at the time that you need to see it, because you're going to be very confused and you need to make a decision. And the full moon will give you that. The full moon will start revving you up during that time. So from now until then, you might want to figure out what it is that you need to say clearly. But think about where you want to be in October 1st before you start talking. Think about exactly what position it's going to land you on with or without people. So really consider what decisions you're trying to make, okay? For the whole outcome, for everybody, not just yourself. which I know you guys always think about everybody else too, because you guys are the sign of service. You guys are also amazing, and you guys are always helping other people. And I don't want you guys ever feel like you're ever taken for granted, because you guys are the ones that help out families the most and do so much for your family. So I know that about you guys. But there will be a perfect time for you to speak up. You won't feel so closed up. You won't feel like someone is taking away your fire. You won't feel like, oh God, if I do something right now, am I going to be put in an uncomfortable situation? No. You're pre-planning your destination. So if you're still dealing with annoying people that are, pulling you from here, from there, for you to figure out what to do with your life, then by that time, you're going to set up and organize something where you can make a situation for yourself that's more comfortable than where it is at right now. So really think about what you're going to say, because when that full moon comes, you're going to be really pushed more. And if it doesn't happen by the full moon, it will happen 2 weeks after, because depending on when you see this video, it's at the end of the reading. So it's going to be anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks after you've watched this. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, depending on when you saw this. But when the feeling hits you to talk, you're going to remember me, and you're going to think, okay, I need to say it now. And you're going to feel it most likely by the 28th. And 2 weeks after that, because that's when it's really going to highlight more. Okay, so at the end of this month, there's going to be an end of month culmination reading for whoever wants to watch it. I always have something for all of the signs, so that way they know exactly what energy we're about to go into. So if you guys want to follow up, please hit the subscribe button, and then follow me through the months as we go along, so that way you can see what is about to manifest. And it's all based on free will, but astrology shows us exactly when to harvest, when to sow the seeds. It's like a calendar, so it helps us learn exactly what season to do what. And with tarot, it's our tools to help us with our intuition, and helps us to see what energy is about to pass. So with these two tools, it can be really beneficial on what is happening next. But at the end of the month culmination videos, this month, I'm going to talk a little bit more about twin flames and soulmates. So if you guys are up to it, look forward to my video at the end of this month. And I look forward to seeing you guys, all of you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, feel free. I love you all, and I'll see you guys at the end of this month. Thank you. Take care.